MB Film Reviews once again, people. Brilliant. Look forward to seeing these again. Now, literally, after like 5 minutes of doing my 500 Days of Summer review, here's the reason I'm saying the same shirt, right? Anyway, not the point. I've decided to review a good movie. Thank goodness I'm reviewing a good movie. Anyway, the movie's called District 9. Now, this movie also came out in September. Originally, I saw this movie before 500 Days of Summer, but I hated 500 Days of Summer so bad, I wanted to get that movie out of the way. So this movie... Whoa, sorry about that there. But this movie actually did brilliantly at what it's supposed to do. So let's get straight into the review. Now, the plot of this movie, it's pretty interesting. I will say that. Now, it stars Chantal Copley as Wickes Vandermeer, and he's assigned by his company to assist in moving these aliens who have taken refuge at a concentration camp where they've settled comfortably out, but they're also wreaking havoc. Wreck and everything. Anyway, they're causing havoc and wreck and everything upon the concentration camp, and not everyone's happy about it. So what happens, Wickes Vandermeer's character is assigned to move them to District 9, which is another concentration camp, but a more strict one, and they haven't got as much freedom as they do in this one. Of course, the aliens aren't too happy about this, and they end up going on a rampage. But eventually what happens is that Wickes' arm ends up getting mutated. So then it becomes a mission to try and get the father alien and his son back home out of Earth, because they're not welcome here, while also trying to save his own arm from changing and mutating his DNA. So that's the basic plot of District 9. Now, let's get started. Like I did with 500 Days of Summer, let's get straight into the pros and cons of the film. Okay, pros about the film. Acting, stunning, superb. I will say that. Chantal Copley, I've never seen him in any motion picture before. Any motion picture film before. And I have to say, his performance in this film was spectacular. I felt with his character throughout most of the film, never let go of hope that his character would survive, and by the end of it, I felt I've just watched an incredible performance from a guy who's just done his first motion picture movie. And, you know, not much else to say on the acting because everyone else was pretty superb as well. I really did find that their performances were moving. See, what's the good thing about District 9 is that the fact that the acting in this movie was so superb that I just couldn't let go of the character development. Which is another positive. The character development is awesome in this movie. You feel for the characters as they go into the situations, you don't want them to die, and everything happens as it happens for a reason. So there you go, that's the acting bit done. Other pros about the film. Now, the action in this movie is superb, also superb, and it's, you know, it kind of does... Now, some of the other critics have said this, and I'm probably going to join them in saying that this movie kind of does put to shame the likes of Transformers 2 and X-Men Origins Wolverine and G.I. Joe The Rise of Cobra, even though I do love those movies. Don't get me wrong, I do love those movies, but sometimes the action, particularly Transformers 2, didn't really happen as much for the purpose for the story as it could have done. But I still love the film anyway. But this one, the action happened for a purpose, and as the characters enter these situations, you feel this is how you choreograph an action sequence. And I really wanted the characters to survive throughout most of the film. The other pros about the film is that after the first 15 minutes, the pacing was brilliant. You know, it didn't move along at a slow pace. You know, you get emotionally invested in the story, and you never let go until the very end. And by the time you get to the very end, you think, I've just watched a phenomenal movie. I have. Yeah, seriously. I do think that District 9 is a phenomenal movie. You know. But anyway, so, and other pros about the film was that it was the right length, wasn't too long, wasn't too short, it fit the time length perfectly, and overall it calls for a good night, brilliant night out at the movie. Now, I've went to see this movie twice. I went to see it first on the Wednesday before 500 Days of Summer, and then after that, the Abomination, which I'm not going to mention that movie anymore, after the Abomination of the Saturday, the day afterwards I saw this movie a second time, and it put me faith back in cinema. It put me faith back in going to the movies. Now, you may think this movie's perfect. Yes, it is actually near perfect movie, but just one thing I didn't like about it. The first 15 minutes of this film was like a documentary-style filmmaking, and as much as there's what they were going for here, I didn't think the opening interviews were needed. I didn't think they needed to be as long as they were. I wish that they just cut straight to the movie and just let the movie play out from there. But that's just nitpicking at least. That's just, at best, that's just nitpicking. Overall, you know, that cannot take away from the brilliance that is District 9. And I really am so glad I saw this movie. Because I'm definitely getting this movie when it comes out on DVD. Maybe wait for the bargain bucket, because that's what I usually do when most movies come out on DVD. I mean, up to Christmas now, you know, obviously the big releases will be coming out. But anyways, this comes out after Christmas, yeah. So I'm gonna get it anyway because it's a perfect movie. And not only is this going to be my top movie of 2009 so far, it's also in my top 10 best list ever made. I'm not joking. I'm not going to read it to you now because I still need to think about it, but this is definitely my top 10 best movies of all time, let alone 2009. So overall, I'm going to give it 5 out of 5 stars. I think it's an absolutely perfect movie. Nothing could have been done to fix it. And I heard that Peter Jackson produced it, which is, I wonder why it's so brilliant. But the movie itself on its own stands out on its own 2 feet, and it's just brilliant. Fantastic. So overall, 5 out of 5 stars. Finally, a good movie in cinema that I actually agree with everyone else. I agree with everyone else. Thumbs up, 2 thumbs up to District 9. So until next time, movie going public on YouTube, Michael Bowers, or the Movie Buff, signing out.